Thank you for listening to the Black Delegates Podcast. Rate, review, share.
Yo, Herb, take it from the top. 1, 2. My mic sound nice. Check 1. My mic sound nice. Check 2. My mic sound nice. Check 3. Are you ready?
Welcome to the Black Delegates Podcast. Today's date is January the 31st, 2021. First time y'all ever looked at me say that intro. So now you know how professional I am. I am the Black Ryan. I'm here on video for the first time, at least with Box One Poppy.
Yo.
And my co-host, Ghetto Phenom. Y'all won't ever see this video. Don't worry. We still incognito. But this is just so we can look at each other in the face. Everybody flossing their beards except for me.
Yeah, you got the struggle beard. That's right.
That's all right, man. The struggle is real. You know, shout out to my brothers out there that can't grow a full beard.
There's a reason why that doesn't happen for you, but we won't talk about that today.
What does that mean?
Well, I'll let the wife tell you. We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it off the pod.
Man, if you get out of here. All right, let's start off serious note first. So we got some rest in peace, RIPs. The great Cicely Tyson passed away this week after our recording. I don't remember which day exactly.
Ryan, have you ever watched a movie with Cicely Tyson in it?
Of course.
Really?
Is it possible not to?
I've never seen her nothing. I've heard the name. I've never seen anything.
What? Are you serious right now?
What has she been in?
Get out of here.
Teach me. I'm serious. No. I mean, lady, 96. I know. I've heard the name, but what has she been in? I'm not sure. Give me something. Just give me one.
IMDb her.
If she's in The Color Purple, then we'll know why I haven't seen it.
She probably is in Color Purple. I don't know.
She probably
She's
wrote
in
The
every
Color
black
Purple.
movie I've ever seen. I'm going to pull it up, so I'm going to run through this list.
Man, she was like in the
list. I want the list. All right, let's go. I'm just going to start at the top. None of these are in order necessarily.
Raising the Sun, 1935.
She was in The Help. She was in Diary of a Mad Black Woman. She was in How to Get Away with Murder. She was in Medea's Family Reunion. Fried Green Tomatoes. Roots.
Okay.
Winn-Dixie. Fall from Grace. That was the last movie I saw her in.
Okay.
Cherish the Day. That's recent. Why Did I Get Married Too?
Oh, that's
Bustin'
trash.
Loose with Richard Pryor. Hoodlum. Idlewild.
Okay. Am I seeing Hoodlum?
Do I need to keep going?
No, stop. Please stop.
Woman Called Moses.
Yeah, that's not on the go-to list for me. Sorry.
The Rosa Parks Story. She's in every black movie.
Gotcha. Okay. So who else we lose this week?
We also lost Dick Cheney, if anybody cares.
That is not Dick Cheney.
John Cheney, my
man.
bad.
Man.
Dick Cheney.
That is disrespectful. No, we need to start all over,
That
man.
dude ain't dead yet, though. Dick Cheney ain't dead yet.
Look, he got a fake heart, and he just going strong. That dude never gonna die. He like the Iron Man. He the real Iron Man. You know he got a fake heart, right?
He did. Yeah. I remember
He just got like a battery pack in there. It's like the Iron Man, yo. He never die.
He definitely gonna be a head in a jar one of these days, I'm sure. But no, John Cheney, Coach
Man,
John Cheney.
Put some respect on that man's name.
Yeah, he passed away.
Yo, hey, I did used to like his teams back in the day, man. Big East basketball, or I guess were they in the Big East? No, I guess they were in Atlantic 10. I'm not sure. He was fun to watch, man. I love the defense. He had some good players on there, man. Little dudes from the hood, But man, they play great defense. I used to like watching him, man. And I'll never forget him and Calipari. Did you ever see that video where him and Calipari got into it at the press conference? And he threatened he was going to kill. Mm-hmm. So it was like a game. I guess Calipari won. This was at UMass. And they said that John Cheney, he stormed in there during the press conference. I mean, it's on camera. You can find this out there. Uh-huh. And he was like, and they started going back and forth, and Calipari was kind of like dismissing the old dude, and he was like, "I'll kill you, you SOB," and ran up there to the stage and was trying to kill Calipari.
Really?
Yeah. They pieced it up later on.
What was he gonna do? He was at least 85 years old at that point.
He probably was, but look, man, if he got those hands on, it was gonna be problems for him. That's all I know. Watch that video; it's worth a Google.
Okay, all right, and just out of respect, I'm gonna say rest in peace to Cloris Leachman. Y'all gonna have to look her up yourself. She, I've seen her in things. She's usually in comedies. So, but Phenom said he has never seen this lady ever before in his life. So
I said I heard the name, but I never seen her. But I assumed that she was in Mama's Family, and that's why y'all were shouting her out because I know you're a big Ryan. I know you're a big Mama's Family proponent.
I don't think she was in Mama's Family.
That name sounded like she was in Mama's Family, so I'm just gonna assume it.
But
Ryan, what we need to talk about though, 1 year anniversary of your boy, Do you want to give an additional rest in peace to your goat, the Black Mamba?
Yeah, I didn't want to talk about it.
You didn't want to. It still hurts.
Nah, I'm being sad, man. Nah.
You didn't want to throw the Ocho on the video for us on the duo.
No, I didn't. Everybody else doing it, so everybody else going right. I'm gonna go left.
Gotcha. All right, man.
Mama still got the shrine on the wall, so be all right. All right. Let's see. I want to make a correction from last week. I said I did not finish the Crack documentary. I did finish the Crack documentary. I pushed play on that mug. It was like the credits was finna roll in like 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I was on like the last scene of the movie, so I did see it.
Did you?
Were you able to finish it, Paul?
I have not even started it yet. It's on the
You just
list.
started.
I'm gonna get to it,
Okay.
but I'm
So
gonna
you
go.
never gonna watch it?
I'm gonna go score me some crack. So that when I watch it, then I can just really relive it.
First hand. All right.
Give me some crack. Give me some
Phenom?
Public Enemy. Yeah, I'll be good to
No
go.
still on the Crack documentary.
I have not watched it. No, I will.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I have not.
All right. I did also. Well, I guess we can get straight into this weekend blackness. I will start since I'm talking. I watched the Tiger documentary.
Mm-hmm.
Dog, that documentary was fire.
Hey, it wasn't bad, was it?
Check it out, man. It was good. Watched it with the wife actually, and she actually was paying attention and
Mhm.
watched it like this. So, yeah, it's a good doc to watch.
I watched the first episode of it.
Okay.
So I watched part of it, but I haven't gotten back to it to finish it. But I definitely will.
How many times did you turn to the wife during the documentary and say, "See, I'm not this messed up. See, I didn't do this."
I can do that with everyday life, so it's fine. I just look at her and I just pop my collar.
Okay, well, hold on. What'd you think about the dad? Is the dad a genius? Is the dad an evil genius? Is the dad crazy? What'd you think, man?
I mean, technically, as crazy as he was talking, like God put me here to
That's
raise
what I'm
this.
saying.
He was right. He was right.
He was saying that
So
when
what
the
can
dude,
you say?
he was saying that when the little dude was like 2. He was saying that when the dude was 2. I mean, the dude was right.
How was he 2 years old on the Bob Newhart show? I don't know. How'd he get on there?
I mean, you just got like a little
That
special
seems
skill.
crazy.
I mean, that's back in the day when they like stupid pet tricks. They're just looking for anything to put on TV. So yeah, I mean, you go on a little Tonight Show or whatever like that. They'll put you on there if you can hit a little putter or whatever like that.
Yeah, and Tiger's swing was fire back then too. So yeah, man. I mean, I didn't mind about the daddy. I mean, he pretty much prophesized.
My kids are already here. So hold on, man. This is all messed up. Hold on, man.
So then I got the wife got the second part of the vaccine, Phenom. So we should be straight here in 30 days, I guess, however long it take. She I think she was milking it though, for real, man. Don't tell her I said this, but as soon as she got that shot, she's like, "Oh, I need to lay down. I'm not gonna be able to do anything tonight. I just want to watch movies and recuperate." I'm just like, stop it. You're fine. But that's
hey, from what I hear, that second dose is like that to people. Like people have a strong reaction to that second dose in terms of, I guess fevers and just being tired. That immune response really kicks up. So
she had absolutely nothing after that. It was just that first day, and after that, fine.
But I think that's how it is. It's just when you get it, like that immune response is sort of immediate, where it hits you hard for that one day when you get it. But usually, the next day, people are cool. So
okay, well. So far, so good, man. So I'm happy she got that out the way. Hopefully, I can get mine, and then we can kind of feel a little better around here. Let's see. I watched a couple movies. I watched a movie called Atypical Wednesday. It's written and starred in by a dude named Jay Lee, who is actually from St. Louis. The movie had, I do this every time we have a podcast, and I sit up and I'll be like, oh, what's this? It's like Jeopardy to figure out who is the actor Ryan is talking about.
right.
And I know this dude's name, but I'm going to look it up.
Prep
so
it.
Make sure.
Gotta prepare.
I know. I do no preparation for this podcast. Let's see. Michael Ealy is in it. Seth Green is in it. So it is some people. Kevin Daniels is in it. I feel like Kevin Daniels looks familiar, but maybe he is not. I don't know. You would remember her, even though you might not remember her by name. Sujata Day. She was from the old Issa Rae show back on YouTube. She was the other girl that was her friend.
Gotcha.
So she's in it. But yeah, it's a good movie, man. It's about a dude that like picks up a little white boy who said he needed a ride home. He's like 9. He said he missed his ride and he needed a ride home, and so dude picks him up to take him home. And if you're a black man, you can't be out here picking up little white kids and taking them anywhere. They don't know you. But yeah, it was a good movie, man. This dude Jay Lee is I think he's a really good writer. I really like the dialogue in the movie, so that's why you should check it out. But I don't think he is not top notch acting wise, but everybody else is fine. So it's not a big deal. He's still giving some bars though, I thought. So check that out. It's on what is it on? Stars.
Have you ever picked up a hitchhiker?
Man, heck no. Has a black person ever picked up a hitchhiker? Have you?
That's what I want to know. We need the listeners, if any black person or brown person, if y'all have picked up a hitchhiker, we definitely want to know that. So definitely hit us up at Black Delegates, Twitter or Instagram, and let us know, because I'm interested in that. No, I have never picked up a hitchhiker. I think I've told my hitchhike story when I hitchhiked back to college when I had a flat tire one night.
I don't remember this.
Was in like a 18-wheeler. Luckily, it was a black man that picked me up. I just had a flat. I was going back to school after the holiday. I had a flat. I think my tire had been bald, and I went to one of the little hood shops and got a replacement, and that was bald. And so literally,
give me the $10 tire.
Yeah, the tread like blew up off the tire. So the tire actually wasn't flat, but the tread was all gone. So I guess, maybe they had just glued that on or something or whatever. Like the tread was just gone. And so I pulled, luckily it happened right near a rest stop. Like literally the rest stop was a quarter of a mile, if that. Mm-hmm. So I was able to just pull off of the rest stop. I went up to, this old white couple, asked them, if they could give me a lift back to school. Cause I was about halfway from home and school, and I knew.
Oh, you was in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and I had like a big test that next morning, so I was like, well, if I just get to school, I know one of my partners will bring me back to get my car, change the tire. I just need to get back. So I asked this older white couple. They went and talked about it. They're like, well, give us a second. And they went over and huddled up. And so I was just like, I was like, hey, I'm a university student. I'm just trying to get back to school. I have a test. They huddled up. And so I was sitting there waiting. I didn't want to be up on them. So I just kind of stepped to the side. I was waiting as the Jeopardy music played. And all of a sudden they just started walking to the car and didn't turn back.
They didn't even say nothing?
Nope. They just hopped in the car.
That's shady as heck. Just be like, nah, I understand. But they should have been like, nah, we can't do it. Sorry.
Yeah, but then this black truck driver, he said he was down for it. So I told him, I was like, man, I got like $40. That's all I got on me. I was like, you can have that 40. I just need to get that.
Yo, did he actually say I'm down for it? Because in that case, you shouldn't have took that ride. No. I would have been like, nah, no thanks, bro.
Nah, even he had to think a while, and he was like, yeah, man, I'm going past anyway. Go, I got you. And I was hella scared. I can't lie. This is the first and only time hitchhiking. So I was kind of, sitting on the side with the hands cocked, just like, all right, if something happened, I'm going out fighting. but
I guess if you're going to get a ride by somebody, it probably should be an 18-wheeler driver. As weird as that sounds. Like, they're less likely to kill you than somebody in a regular car. Right. That's rough, man. I came close one time to pick it. It's no way she would have got in my car. I'm just saying. But one time I was driving home from work, and there was a lady. Her car must have stalled, so she was like walking up like 270 over here on Lindbergh or closer to Lindbergh, like maybe even further down a little bit. But I just felt bad because she had like heels on and like for real dress clothes. It was hot as heck that day. And I'm just like, yo, she got like a briefcase and all this stuff. Like, somebody give her a ride because she's just trying to go to the Quick Trip, I'm sure. But I'm just like, all these people, and we literally in traffic just sitting while she's walking next to us. And I'm just like, I could just be like, hey, I'll drive you up, off the exit and give you a ride. But I didn't. I was like, I probably have to try to explain that to the wife. And, hey, I picked up this chick. Like, she did kind of look good too, so it wouldn't have worked out. So,
Hey,
just leave it alone.
one other quick story. Don't mean to jack all your weekend blackness, but man, I remember one time I was coming from, I don't know, I was in Illinois. I don't know if I had been at a club or if I was just over there. I don't know what, but I was coming back home from Illinois, and this lady, it was like late. It was probably 2 a.m., so I must have been at a club. And it was like 2 a.m., and I'm going down this dark street, to get on the highway so I could come back. And this lady's like, flagging me down. I could tell, I don't know.
That's a no. That's a no.
Yeah. And so she's like, hey. And I'm like, no. But she looked in distress, so I kind of rolled down my window just a little bit.
Cracked it. Okay.
And she's like, I need a ride. Can you give me a ride? I give you $25. It's an emergency. I really need to get to where I'm going. And I'm like, no, I got to get home. She's like, I'm gonna give you $25. I'm gonna give you $25. Come on, please. And
she about to offer you a double cheeseburger.
I don't think I could do it. And then she was like, well, see, if you give me a ride, it's only whatever, 3 blocks or 4 blocks, and then I'm gonna give you a BJ, and that's worth $25.
Whoa.
And I was like, what?
So she did offer that double cheeseburger. All right.
I was like, lady, if you don't get out of my window.
I was going to say, so that at that point, that's when you stopped and opened the door. So hop on in.
Right. 20 minutes later, I was on my way back home.
Free BJ and $25.
Absolutely not.
It's my lucky day. All right.
Anyway.
That's hilarious. I wonder what her deal was, man. She
was definitely like an addict and probably, she was an addict and probably a prostitute that,
Yeah.
When an addict who prostitutes her way to get money. Like, that's what she just looked like. So that's why I didn't even roll my window down that much. But I just remember feeling like, I just felt bad for her. I'm just like, dude, that's terrible to just run up to cars at 2 a.m. talking about, I'm going to give you $25 and that's a BJ. And then I'm just like, and not that I know the prices on sex acts. I'm like, you doing that for $25? Like,
it's got to be cheap, man.
That's terrible. I guess you're desperate, though. That's desperation.
So, Paul, what's your going rate for paying for BJs? Hey, you muted, by the way.
No. Oh, my bad. Yeah, no clue on that one. I stepped into a weird conversation. But yo,
we actually talking about hitchhiking. Have you ever picked up a hitchhiker?
Hell to the no.
Have you ever been a hitchhiker? Because Phenom was a hitchhiker.
I've never been a hitchhiker. My mom was telling me about hitchhiking back in the 70s or something like that. So that was a different time. But it sounded like that's when all the serial killers were. So I can't imagine she was even doing that. But I guess that was what you did back then,
So we to you then, Paul. So it'd be this week in Brownness. How was your week?
Man, trash, super trash. Work has been ridiculous. These kids are driving me nuts, as my son is down here driving me nuts right now as we speak. Hopefully he takes his ass to bed, and that's it, man. That's all. I ain't got nothing positive to say about this week, man.
Okay.
The weather been kind of messy.
Same here.
Yeah, man. I'm just trying to keep my sanity, man. That's it. The highlight of my week was I did half my taxes this week. That was the highlight, just so I can find out that I get no money back. That's all I found out.
Nice.
Ish, you probably or Phenom, you probably trying to do your taxes, so you can get all your stimulus and stuff like that, but I'm not getting nothing, so I'm just trying to get my $100 back, and that's it. But anyway, that's it, man. Week was trash, man. Hopefully this week is better.
Okay, well, so we can go straight into these topics then, and the biggest topic of the week has been this whole GameStop Reddit financial. Yeah. I don't know what it is. Implosion, explosion.
Explosion.
Whichever one you want to go or call it. I done put mad links in the group chat because I've been wanting to talk about this all week, and I watched a video about it before we got on.
I was waiting for you to tell me hey, I'm retiring. I'm cashing out.
Yo, I did. Well, I'll bring it up later in the story, but there's a couple people out there that say they can retire. I don't know if they will go ahead and pull the trigger. They need to. Don't be stupid.
Yeah. So what do you want to talk about, man?
So, explain what you know about it. and then I'm gonna have some questions as to what the heck is actually going on.
I mean, I don't really even know we need to like get into it because I mean, I'm sure it's been like the biggest story. Like, I really think because of Trump is not in office no more, and there's just we need something to focus on, and this is kind of like a somewhat of a feel good story, a stick it to the man type of story. Okay. So I think that's like because Biden ain't doing nothing crazy, so like there's just all this like media attention that it needs something to focus on. So they've been really focused on this GameStop story, but I mean, basically, long story short is, GameStop hasn't been doing well for a long time because it's old, retail. Nobody, I mean, I don't have I guess I do have a console, but like, you can just download the games from the console. You don't need, online with fast internet. You don't need to go to a store.
Right.
So they're just kind of dying, and the name has been kind of floating out there, but people have been like,
oh, I really like. Stock price has been trash for a long time.
Started the year at like $18.80. $18.80, I think is what it started the year off with. And that's after a bump it had in the second half of last year. But yeah, just some people in like these Reddit forums and some other like Discord, they've been talking about, they talk, man, you can go in there and I mean, just people talking about whatever, and it doesn't, don't really know if anything's true to it. But I guess some people, I think there was a core small group, they try to say like, oh, it's like 2 million people in this Reddit forum that are doing it, but it's the reality is it's a small sliver that they're actually, doing it. Maybe some people were like hyping it up or whatever like that. But they got into it and they started like going long or buying call options. More likely they were buying call options. I can explain all that stuff to you if you want.
Yeah. So I guess
go ahead.
So my question really is, so basically what people are doing is they are betting against the short selling. So I guess I need to know what short selling is.
Okay, so
why rich people do it, and how does that make them money?
I mean, you can. I mean, you can't like shorting stock, like whole stock. Like, yeah, you have to have a lot of money to do that. But I mean, so like so hedge funds, just like you invest in a stock, and so that you go long. And that's called like so you're basically betting the stock's going to go up over time. So you can do that, but the opposite of that is just shorting the stock. Uh-huh. And so basically, what you're doing is you want me to explain how that trade works, or what do you want me to do?
Well, it's kind of like, from what I understand, you're basically, what is it, like you're borrowing stock or you're selling a stock that you don't have. Right.
Let me give you an example. Okay, so like Phenom, you be the bank. Ryan, you be the hedge fund that wants to short, right? And so like Ryan, you'll go to Phenom and you'll say, hey, I want to short, let's say 1 million shares of the stock that's $1 a piece, right? And so like you're gonna borrow the shares itself from Phenom. He's got the shares even reserved, or maybe he's going to talk to some of his clients and pool up 1 million shares, and he's going to give them to you like today, right? Okay, so this is just a simple example.
I'm the connect. I'm about to front you to credit.
Right. Okay. And there's fees for this. So this is like I mean, for anything you're going to borrow, it's going to cost money. But let's just pretend there's no borrowing costs right now. So he's going to give you 1 million shares. Boom, today, Sunday, it's yours, Ryan, for $1 a share.
Okay.
You're going to go out that same, like as soon as Phenom gives you the 1 million, you're going to go out and say like, okay, I'm going to go sell it to Paul. I'm gonna sell that 1 million for $1 a share. So now you're gonna give all the shares you just borrowed from Phenom to me, and I'm gonna give you $1 million. So now you got $1 million cash in your hand.
I'm gonna sell it at cost. I'm not gonna boost the price.
You're gonna sell it because that's the price. Because you're selling short. You're betting it's gonna go down.
Okay.
So if you're betting it's gonna go down, you want to take the highest price you can get, which is right now. You could wait longer, and it might go up, but that's not going to work for you, right? So now you get so just listen, follow me along. Okay. So now you got $1 million. Now you got $1 million. You're a millionaire. Now you're going to pay Phenom back this 1 million shares in like a few weeks, right? But right now, right now you got $1 million.
Okay.
Okay. So now let's say you're right. Now let's say you were right. Your prediction was right. Now the stock goes down to 50 cents a share. So now what you're going to do is you got $1 million in your pocket, right? Mm-hmm. You're going to go out there now. The stock is only 50 cents. So now you're going to go spend. You need to, but you still need to pay Phenom back his 1 million shares. He don't care how much it costs. He wants his 1 million shares back. So you take 50 cents times 1 million. So that's $500,000, and you give that back. You give the 1 million shares back to Phenom. And so now you pocket the difference, the $1 million you got versus what the $500,000 you paid to get the shares back.
So what?
And that's your profit.
So what would Phenom get out of this? That was an
excellent description. I'm gonna get it to you.
He's the bank. He's the facilitator of all this. So he's getting in real world, you're getting you're paying interest rate and a commission to execute this transaction. So he's doing all that. He don't really care what happens with the price of stock. He just wants, he's making money off he's like the casino. Okay. He don't care if you might win, you might lose, but at the end of the day, he's going to get a little chunk, a piece of the pie. And that's all he wants. He wants his piece of pie from all these different people doing that. At the end of the day, he just wants his shares back, which is what you did.
Yeah, you owe me shares, not money.
But now, this is the issue, right, Ryan? So so in our example, right, it went from $1 to 50 cents, and you made $500,000. What's the max of money you could have made in that trade? If you had bought it at $1 and it went to zero, if the company went bankrupt, zero, what's the max you could have made? $1 million, right? $1 million. Yeah. Right. Okay, so that's the max you could have made, $1 million. But now let's go back the other way. So now it's $1 a share. You did all that. You got your money from me. So you got $1 million. What happens if it goes to $2 a share?
Now I owe him. Because
now you owe him.
When I give him the shares, it's going to cost twice as much.
No, you don't owe him. You got to pay it back. He just wants the shares back, but you got to pay $2 million to get those million shares back at $2 a piece. But look at it. It's unlimited. On the downside, the max you can win is $1 million, right? But on the upside, what if it goes to $10 a share? Now you owe $9 million.
Right.
If it goes to $20 a share, you owe $19 million. If it goes to $30 a share, you owe $29 million. Okay. And up and up and up and up. And so it's infinite. And so that's what they were doing to these dudes. They saw like how much the short selling was on, because that's publicly available. You can see like a stock and like how much short interest it is. And so they saw like, obviously they could tell that there were big players in the market were heavily short. I mean, and they've been doing that like since the pandemic. All the rental car companies, all the airlines, like Boeing, all the retailers, the old money, not Walmart, but like GameStop, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a couple of those, but like that, they all been shorting them.
Things like that.
Movie theater. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so they bet against this one stock for whatever reason. And but it was some small Redditors that probably started off, but at some point, because the market just loves volatility. And you talking about as much money as because you were sending some articles around. We're talking about like $20 billion in losses. There ain't no way that was Reddit dudes doing that. There were hedge funds or other big market participants going in, probably pushing the Reddit dudes doing the same kind of stuff, amplifying it, right?
Yeah, because I would assume that they would bet then that, hey, y'all are not going to be able to hold your money long enough, so it's going to go up and it's still going to go down, and I'm going to make even more money. That's what they would assume.
It's going to go down. Well, see what happened was when you have this like transaction, what I was talking about, like where it keeps going up and up and up. So if you're Ryan in this situation, right? And so let's say it went to $2 a share. So now you owe $2 million, and so you're way out of the money, right? Yeah. You can, but let's say it's $2 million, and it looks all signs, at least based on your research, is saying it might go to $10 a share. What are you going to do? You're not going to sit there and let it just go to $10 a share, right? So what are you going to do? You're going to go buy shares as quick as you can at the lowest price you can, right? So that way when it's time to pay back Phenom, at least, hey, because I'd rather, right? You're trying to mitigate your losses, and so that's what was that's what they were when they were calling a short squeeze. That's what's happening. Okay. They were so like the Reddit people were making the price go up initially, and then because it got to a certain point of going up, and it seemed like it was going up, the people that were short, they had to go buy stock. They had to go, and which when you buy stock, it makes the price go up more. Yeah. They had to do that because they were trying to offset their losses because they didn't want to pay, whatever billions, which is what happened, right? So like one hedge fund needed a bailout from other hedge funds, another one had significant losses, So they almost brought down a couple of hedge funds and probably some others, but there's other money coming in. But at the end of the day, somebody's going to get left holding the bad, man. Money,
right? You got to be
somebody's going to be left. Because there's going to be some if you're doing options stuff like that, that's one thing, but you still got to know what you're doing. But like, there's gonna be people that like just buy it at like $500 a share, like, and man, that stuff ain't never. It's too high. But because in a couple weeks, if not days, that thing's gonna be going back to like under $100. Because it was less than 20 at the beginning of the year. There's really no reason. There's still no. fundamental reason for it. So I mean, good for the people that did it, but some people are gonna get burnt. It's gonna be interesting to watch over the next few weeks.
So what you think about it, Phenom?
I mean, I think it's dope. I'm not a part of that particular Reddit group. I am a part of like a Reddit investing group, and actually for Robinhood, because I just started using Robinhood maybe I don't know, maybe like April or something like that, because before I used a different broker, which I actually still have some stocks in the other broker, but Robinhood, has the commission-free trades, and so I was like, you know what, let me switch to that. Even though my broker had my original broker had changed,
they all went commission free. They all went commission free
to the zero commission. I was like, well, Robinhood kind of kicked that off, so I was like, let me try that. So I have some stocks for Robinhood, so I got like a Robinhood penny stocks Reddit group. And so, I always see them talking about the options. That's really where I learned about options. But, I hate that I didn't get in on it.
Right.
Like that's my real feeling. It was like, yo, if I would have got in on the front end of that, you could make some money, right? You sent some links out, like a little dude, I think, made $1 million on some games stock. Or what is it? GameStop.
Well, the little boy didn't make. He only made like $4,000. But that's from like his grandma bought him a terrible stock. Like, yo, grandma, don't give him a GameStop stock back when you gave it to him. It was trash back then. That was a terrible investment.
Well, he was just excited because he liked video games.
Yeah, he liked video games. Yeah, so I understand. But it was a terrible investment, grandma.
No, but I saw a different story. It wasn't that dude. It was like the
other Missouri dude.
The Missouri dude. Yeah. I forgot about that.
He's like 22 or something like that. Right. And he invested like $4,500, I think, or $3,500.
Yeah,
and is a millionaire on paper now. So it's like
I saw a dude
in and got out.
I saw a dude who, I don't know why he would do this, but he showed a screenshot. It could be fake, but I don't know. But he showed a screenshot, $50,000. So he's probably already rich anyway. He put $50,000 in on it. Got 46 million pinned technically.
Yeah, that's that.
Without selling, but yo, you got to sell now. Like if I'm set for life, I'm selling immediately. I'm not holding the line for nobody.
Well, see, the thing, like with most of these dudes, there probably were some people that were actually buying the stock, like, the whole, full stock, a piece of a share of stock. But most of the time, these guys are doing call options for most part. So you can trade on call options, like just for, fractions of what the real stock costs. But it's more complex. I mean, because you're not going to, like, the call option is like, gives you the right to like purchase a stock at the lower price, at whatever the agreed upon price is, but you only do it when the price is like skyrocket well above whatever you agree to. But like nobody ever, like, when it actually does that, actually buys the stock, because you have to, because like each option contract is like 100 shares, and so like you'd have to come up with like several $100s just for one share now, so you're talking about tens of thousands of dollars potentially and stuff like that. So
yeah, that's what people do.
Most time they just close out their position, and they'll sell their option contract to somebody else, and so then there's like a bid ask price, so you get a little bit less than that. So like, I don't know, some of these things were, I mean, like, don't get me wrong, there are dudes that are millionaires off this for sure, but like, it's a paper gain. And so like when that dude from Missouri, he was like, yeah, I'm gonna keep on riding it out, but like he's not gonna actually own. He doesn't own the stock. He probably just owns options. And each day that you wait longer, like those options, kind of the value of them potentially could run out. So like,
because you still need a person to buy that stock from you to make it.
Somebody to buy from, right? Well, he needs somebody to buy the options contract from. More like he's not gonna buy the stock, because it'd be. He doesn't have that money, more than likely. I'm assuming if he's making $35,000 a year or whatever like that, and he put $4,500, he doesn't have enough money to do that at the price it is. So more likely he's gonna just close the option, but those can change each day, and the price. I mean, the price has been jumping around like $200 a day or something like that. So like, I mean, he's a millionaire on paper right now, but I mean, come next week, he could be not much further ahead than what he was. So he needs to do something quick. So they said the owner of GameStop, or the CEO of GameStop, he's on paper today, he's a billionaire. he's a billionaire. He could, like, why would, and all from nothing he's done. But I don't think he can sell those shares, because it'd probably be like, he'll get sued for the rest of his life. So it'd be interesting.
Cash me outside.
Right.
That's what I'm saying, man. Cash me out.
The real, I guess, the story of this has come down from all these different entities, mostly the stocks themselves or the traders themselves, putting a halt on shares of GameStop, which is crazy to me. I would assume eventually the SEC will probably come in, step in, and do something. I don't know what they can do. It's still technically a free market. You should be able to do this.
Well, I think they will. But like, I don't know about other places, but I mean, Robinhood is one that got kind of dinged for it or whatever like that. But basically, Robinhood is a small company, and there's like requirements on like how much, because like in our example, Phenom would basically be Robinhood. He's on the hook for the $1 million. He's on the hook for the $1 million, 1 million shares that he needs back, and then he's taking those out of his either his pool of he's just got some of those investments floating around, or he's borrowing it from his other clients. To do that, but there's an obligation. He has to return those. He can't just like, this dude Ryan over here didn't pay me, so your money's just gone. That's not how it works. So you have to have like so much, collateral basically, and so that's what the Robinhood was run into because there was just so much activity. I mean, go pull up GME, which is GameStop options prices, man. It's like. I don't know, like $115 for one option contract, which is again that you got to multiply that times $100 shares and stuff like that. But I mean it should be like $1 or a few like 30 cents or something like that. That's what it should be in a regular time if it's like trading at $20. But now it's like $100 a share. So there's just so much volatility. They couldn't keep up, and they have to meet these like capital requirements. So they were, so that's why they shut down the trading because they didn't. It was so much going on. They don't have enough money, so they had to go out and they had to go borrow like $1 billion from their backers just so they could deal with the influx of activity on their platform. That was what happened with Robinhood, and maybe a few others too, because it was just so crazy there for a few days, and probably still will be this week.
That's their story, and I believe that is true, but I also believe that
I'm getting 325.
A lot of it is just these the Reddit traders pissed off a lot of rich people. It's like the whole idea of this shorten game. I mean, it's janky in the first place. That you can basically bet on a stock to go down and make millions or billions of dollars
while we losing money
playing
off
the game, and when it's hedge funds and stockbrokers, like nobody cares. But when it's the average person, and like you said, there are people who are making $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year that got in on this and, potentially made a lot of money. And really the impetus behind it for some people was, they wanted to stick it to the rich people, but it's just like when they saw people who aren't rich, who aren't necessarily stock experts coming into the market and causing that disruption, I think the infrastructure that's there was like, nah, we can't have this, because you saw all these brokers, all these hedge fund managers on TV like going nuts, and they were losing money hand over fist.
And look, the story would have went away quicker if they just stopped talking, but they just went up there like whining and complaining. But
and
but look, man, but
like, I'm just what do you say? I'm just trying to make a living, or I'm just trying to live, or something.
I'm trying to have 4 or 5 mansions and a private helicopter.
How can I feed my kids with this $15 million a year? Like Spreewell said.
Right. And I saw some posts, man, where you talked about earlier about, hold the line. Like that was the battle cry. Hold the line, hold the line. And I saw one dude was like, look,
forget that.
I've been poor my whole life. He was like, I grew up,
man, gotta cash out.
In a single mother family. I ate a lot of ramen noodles. I done had jobs where I wasn't making a lot of money. Like I'm used to being broke. He was like, so me losing this $500 or whatever that I invest, I don't care about it. Like
right.
It's about the principle of it at this point. And a lot of people feel like that. They feel like we tired of rich people.
That's the problem though. Those people, they're gonna be back to being broken because it's no fundamental reason
Wednesday,
for it, man.
Everybody at least is gonna say
it could be.
There's no reason not to.
Look, it might go on for another week or two. It might go on for another month, maybe. I really doubt. I'd be surprised. But in the long run, it's gonna go down. So look, I wouldn't recommend anybody bet, but at some point put a put option, a small put option on GameStop and see what happens. Ride if you want to, but it's gonna go down at some point. There's just no fundamental reason. I got no reason to go to GameStop ever again, man. F them for what they did to me in NCAA football 2005, man. That thing was worth more than $8.
Right,
Come on now.
Right. I was just gonna say that they gypped me out of a bunch of money. One time I bought remember Phenom when I used to buy the NCAA game until Madden came out. So it was like for 1 month I was playing a football game just to get ready, and then I would sell it back, and they offered me like $10, and it was like 40 or 50 or probably $50 back then. And dude,
60.
Dude told me $10, man. I'm like, yo, I can sell this to somebody in the store right now. And I actually told the dude, I was like, yo, you can get this right now. I'll sell it to you for $35. And the manager kicked me out the store. Was like, y'all can't do that in here. And I was like, all right, man. So I got the money from dude outside.
You got to call an aggressive black man that's in the store. We need restraints.
Hey man, quit cheating your customers, dog. If you know you can make that much money, you need to at least feed your customers.
Always be the lamest dude, like lame as a fat dude with a ponytail up there with glasses, and and they have like a little platform they be standing on, so they be like kind of like peering over you, like man, get off down with that soapbox. You only 5'10". Get down, man. Thinking you big and bad, like lording over me with my video games, man. Stop that.
Right.
The best part of GameStop was, I think they were like the first place to have the systems, the consoles on display.
So you could check them out.
You could go and, hop on there and play a couple of games. So that was cool. But I'm going to get that. What's that dude? The shaman, the insurrection shaman dude. I'm going to get his little outfit. And I'm going to be like, hold the line.
Anyway, man. Hey, look, man. Bless you if you do it, but be smart out there, people, man. And Bitcoin, we can talk about that another day. That's a big scam too, but we won't get into that one.
Well, I mean, Paul, we all know you invest like an 85-year-old white man. Like you still be putting money in GE. Like us black people, man, we're trying to go for broke, yo. I'm trying to be a millionaire.
I'm probably like he got probably 200,000 shares in Maytag.
Right. Maybe something like, I know I won't lose any money.
Hey, look, man. If I pull up my Fidelity right now, I guarantee you, if it'll show you like the last few quotes. You don't look. GE is like today. I literally looked at GE today.
Steady ride GE, yo. All right, man.
I'm not in GE. I mean, it's cheap because it's so low right now. So you can do it, But hey, man. I mean, everybody does their own thing, man. But like me, like energy. If I get the money, I'm trying to keep it. I'm not trying to. But if you got money to burn and you want to play it, but hey, man, play with some small options one time. Okay, you lose money. It's not free. Just because the transaction cost ain't there, it's still a fee.
I'm telling Paul, hey man, invest in PayPal, Square, Tesla. And he's like, nah, man, GE. They've been steady for the past 20 years. Yo, you'd be rich if you had to listen to me, man.
Do they pay a dividend? Do any of those companies pay a dividend? Yes or no?
Cash out. What you talking about dividends?
I was man. I was looking. This is the last thing we need to wrap this.
Yeah, we move on.
But I was looking at one stock, man. I won't name it out, but I was looking at one. It was probably like $18, $19 a share when I first saw it, and then it went up to like 20, and I was like, man, I'm gonna wait for it to go back down to like 19. And I'm going to get it. Man, that stock is like $110 a share now. I'm like, dang it.
Yeah, if you miss that window, man, it's rough.
But I don't know, man. You can't like, it's spilled milk, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, like Bitcoin, you could have, everybody thinks about like, oh man, I could have bought Bitcoin when it was 10 cents, now it's, whatever it is, but it's just like, you can't be, it might not, but you just can't, you can't be, I don't believe in Bitcoin. That's my personal view, but whatever.
It's like a house. You always look at houses and you want to get it for low, but it's like, at some point, just get the house, whatever it costs. And if it's a good house in a good neighborhood, it's gonna go up in value. Same with the stock. You might miss it on that ideal price, but if it's a good stock, it's still gonna go up. So do your D&D.
If it's Bitcoin, they're telling you about a house in a pretend neighborhood that you've never seen before. You can't actually go there or look at the house, but they're telling you, hey, this house is very nice. You should put your money in on it. And then you just buy it sight unseen. That's what they're doing.
Look, man, listen, man, when I was, when I went to school in the Ivy Leagues, listeners, I'm the only Ivy League black delegate graduate. So just keep that in mind. But I went there and this dude was talking about Bitcoin. This professor had all these accolades and he was like showing us a map of Philadelphia. He was like, you can go to these places and there's like Bitcoin ATMs Fam, why are all those damn Bitcoin ATMs in the hood? Man, you would get your block knocked off the second you pulled up in the cab trying to go cash out some Bitcoins. I was like, look, we in one of the richest campuses in America. You downtown Philadelphia, plenty of wealth. There ain't a Bitcoin ATM within blocks. He was showing on like a little Google map or whatever, like all these little pins, where you could go. It was all like in North Philly. I was like, man, nobody's going up there to go. Man, you get murdered as soon as you go over there with a Bitcoin. They'll take your phone and take your Bitcoins from you right then. I was like, so doesn't that tell you something that this is not like, it's not real? You know what I'm saying? Like if it was legitimate, wouldn't there be like a decent bank that would have a ATM in their lobby or someplace, a Kroger, a Walmart, something? Why I got to go to this little like Khabib's World Bazaar and CBD oil emporium up there in North Philly to go cash this thing out? I mean, it don't make no sense, man. So, and this was like a year ago. This isn't like 20 years ago or something like that. This is a year ago. Everybody done heard about Bitcoin by now. So that's my take on it, man.
Right. And I don't take my financial advice from my barber.
Keep going! Keep going!
So next topic, happily never after in China. And this is a little bit different story. We got, since Trump is out of office, we don't got to talk about Trump all the time. Like we don't got to talk about all these crazy what Trump did. I mean, it's sure a lot of racist stories still, but this is a story I saw about China. It was a little bit interesting. So the Chinese government is kind of freaking out. The Communist Party rules in China, and they're freaking out because they said that the millennials in China aren't getting married, and I think that's true in America also. People are getting married later. I think Box Wine Poppy got married pretty young, but me and the Black Ryan both, we were in our 30s. Yep. I think you were in your 30s, right? Yeah, we were in our 30s when we got married.
Because I was, a committed man. Y'all were out there man whoring, slutting it up, living in sin, my brothers, and I was not doing that. Just wanted to go on the record, and Lady T, Mrs. E, if y'all hear this, just want y'all to know that.
I know you're not talking about living in sin because you was married and living in a whole lot of that, but no, man. So what's happening in China is people are getting married later or not getting married, and so the issue is becoming like a population issue. And, for a long time, because China, it's got over 1 billion people and the population was like going nuts. And so they had that controversial, like one child law.
Per family,
A married couple, you could only have one child because that was their form of population control. And that's
but they would all have the families, especially the poor families, would all have dudes because they needed that, to work the farm or, carry on the family name. So it's like, in America, like it's whatever, 50-50, male or female, but over there the ratio is like way off track. So you got a bunch of dudes in like these like towns and there ain't no eligible chicks. So like the chicks is like, it's hard to get by, like, I mean, basically they can just bid up. In fact, it's like, dowry, you heard of dowries back in the day or whatever like that, So like that's basically how it works now, man. If you got a daughter, I mean, it's like highest bidder. Somebody in America's like, there's just eligible dudes just be waiting. But they can't get a chick, they just can't get a chick over there. It's crazy.
Well, and they're saying, part of it is, I mean, just if you having a limit of one child, like whether it's men or women, there's just a lot less children anyway. So it's a lot less kids to be married. And then the women are now being like, they're tired of that social pressure, because over there, like you said, men are valued more. Women are supposed to be, these subservient women in a lesser class. And they like, we tired of that. We're not doing that. So they're just not, like, even the women who are there are just not trying to marry. And so, like, the Communist Party now feels like their power is in jeopardy because it's just not enough people that they can kind of debo. And if people aren't getting married, like they're trying to switch it up. So Ryan, you haven't really spoke, but what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's a worldwide issue right now. I think people are just part of it is you're living a little bit longer. We know we're living longer. So everything's getting pushed back a little bit. Like you said, we waited until our 30s. That's the norm now. I know plenty of people not being married until they're in their 30s and having children until they're in their 30s. I read a story about Japan. They have the same issue going on, except they're blaming video games for it. They said that the Japanese men prefer to play video games than settle down and get married. Yeah, man. I mean, if you like games, everybody knows I have a wife. Phenom has a wife. Man, your wife don't want you playing no games, man. So forget that. We're not going to get married. I'm going to just wait. I'm going to hold it off as long as possible. So I understand, man. I understand. But what can you do? I mean, when you put in a political reason to limit your children, I guess it's not a reason. It was for population growth, but there's ramifications to that. You can't do that for decades and decades and then not think that your population is going to decline. It's going to decline. So hopefully they can turn that around at some point, or otherwise they're going to shrink down here in a little bit.
I don't know if the population, I mean, it was population control, but I mean, they got 1 billion people over there, if not more. And they stopped that policy like about 7-8 years ago. So that's no longer the official policy. So it's over technically. But yeah, man, I mean, but there is societal problems because they say like in the, not in the cities on the coast, but like in the, middle of nowhere China, like it's all like mining towns or like that. They're just like entire camps of just dudes and it's alcohol is rampant because like they ain't nothing to do. They ain't no women to please. They're all gone, and I mean because they're all taken up. There are no available women.
No women to please, yo. That's about. Can that be the show title? No women to please.
Look, hey, if there were no women, would you put deodorant on every day? Would you even try to have a struggle beard?
I would.
You would still try to have a struggle beard?
I don't want to be musty.
Man, I'd be out here. Please.
There are some lines that have nothing to do with women.
If there was a whole world with just men, look, man, you would be sitting there looking funky and raggedy as hell, so that nobody would like look at you like, "Hey, man, look at that booty." That's what you would do, man. You know it. Come on now.
Hey, well, here's one thing that, or a couple things China is trying to do. So, in addition to, I mean, even Ryan, you talked about this being a global issue. Another global issue is just people aren't having kids as much. Like, I don't know if it's infertility or fertility rates are going down.
There have been fertility
and
rates.
So, and divorce rates are going up. I think that's kind of global too. And so even in a place like China or Japan, where they typically, their divorce rates weren't crazy like the U.S., like 50% plus, but their divorce rates are going up. So one thing China's doing is they're enforcing a mandatory, they call it a cooling off period, both when you first get married and before you get divorced. So like when you first get married, there's like what is it, 2 weeks or is it a month?
Man, I better make it a year. Make it a solid. Make it 3 years.
It's a month or it's 30 days. Yeah.
I need more time to cool.
When you get married and when you get divorced, like if you file for divorce, you have to wait 30 days. It's like when you buy the guns. Some places have those laws where you get the background check and you got to wait 2 weeks or whatever. You got to wait 30 days from when you file divorce before you can proceed with it to see, if people are going to take each other back. Do y'all think that'll work?
Is that a waste of time? No, man. You done all you can do by the time you file some papers. Ain't nobody changing their mind at that point. You moving out at that point.
They kind of got laws like that here in the States. I mean, each state is different, but they got laws like that in the States where like you gotta be separated from your wife, but not for a year or something like that before you can actually get the official divorce. I mean, there's each states do it different. I'm not sure how Missouri or North Carolina or whatever does it, but there are things like that, and there's different states where you can do it quickie. So you got to read up, man. So, but there are schemes like that. So I see where where China's trying to they're taking it from or trying to mimic or whatever like that. So I don't know, man. It's not. Hey, marriage is not easy. That's all we can say, right? We can all agree on that, right?
My marriage is great. I have no issues whatsoever.
See, T, when he rubbing his head like this, that's the tell. Just want you to know that when he done this, that's the tell. He's been doing that since freshman year.
Yep.
All right, next up.
All right, Paul, it's you. I'm gonna throw the drops in afterwards and post, so y'all won't hear him, but it'll be on there.
All right, so my man, this, again, we talk about hairline surgery, a lot of different, there's a lot of surgery talk on this podcast, but we're going to talk about this dude right here. My homie, Alfonso Flores from Dallas, Texas, said he always wanted to be like a basketball player from when he was growing up. But he didn't grow up to be a good basketball player. He only ended up being 5'11". Okay. So my man said, "Hey, 5'11", that's not good enough, man. I need a little more confidence. I need a little more." So he hooked up with his doctor. I'm not gonna even try to pronounce this man's name. Dr. Deba Pasharad. Oh man, I'm destroying that. This dude offers leg lengthening surgery. Runs from between $75K and $94K. This dude took him up on that. So you got to pay $75 to $94K to get your leg lengthening surgery, and the dude did that and ended up going from 5'11" to a whopping 6'1", which I'm 6'1", man. But like it don't matter. Like when I stand beside Ryan and Phenom, I'm still kind of short. And so now the dude says he loves it, and everything's working great. I want to hear what his girlfriend or fiance says when they find out he's really short. But then he's got to pay another $14 to $20K in a couple years to get all the nails removed from his feet, from his legs, after the surgery.
I'm stupid.
Just wondering.
When they said nails, I was like, fingernails? Toenails? What? I'm an idiot. Okay.
Yeah, they should have said pins. They should have said pins.
Something else.
But yeah, man. So I mean, what do y'all think? Were y'all ever at one point short and wanted to be tall so bad that you would actually undergone this surgery? Does this sound like something that was up for y'all if y'all were the short gang?
Dude, in high school, there was a time I was praying every night that I just could be 6'5". I was like, yo, if I could just get to 6'5", like everything would change. But no, I'm not paying anybody to do this. I know this is a thing. I haven't heard that much about it in the Western world, and especially in the United States, but this is definitely a thing in Asia, except women want smaller feet. So therefore, they are cutting bone away from their feet in order to make their feet smaller, because having more petite feet is supposedly more attractive over there. Yes, I've read about that before in the past.
Sasquatch gang.
Hey, you get one of these dudes that's lengthened out. I guess they just break it, leave a space, and then eventually your bone will fill it in. He's gonna have all kind of problems down the line. This is gonna break. There's no way it's gonna be. It's not gonna be good. It's not gonna work.
Listen, man, this dude tried to get on the basketball court for 5 seconds. He's gonna be like a Greg Oden out there.
Right. He probably can't. So, guarantee he can't.
No, probably no.
And then the crazy thing
hold on. Who's the tallest? You were Ryan. Phenom or Ryan?
I am.
Okay.
But the crazy thing is, and I mean, it's only 2 inches, so that's not a drastic difference. To me, that's not even worth it. Like, if I was going to do it, it would have to be like 4 to 6 inches. And
right.
Ryan, you said 6'5" is your ideal height. Mine was 6'7". I was just like, if I get to 6'7",
6'7" would be great.
I'm going to the NBA. There's no doubt whatsoever. So if somebody would have come to me with this surgery, now it couldn't have been, $70,000 to $90,000. It would have had to been, maybe about $300. I
don't know. Your booster might have paid for it, man. You might have called them up and be like, "Yo, I need that money."
Hey, look. The one thing though, the $75,000 is outrageous. But like, if somebody said like, "Hey, man, we're gonna add length to your legs," and they said like, "We can do it for $129," I'd be like, "No, that's okay. Give me the $75,000 joint. I do not want the really cheap version of this."
Right.
It's like whenever I see those commercials for LASIK. You ever hear those like radio commercials for LASIK? And they'd be like, we do it $39 an eye. I was like, I don't want that. if you offer to put a laser in my eye for $39 an eye, I don't want. And if you're doing it, the price is by eyeball. Yeah. Like, no, man, just like I want to pay $2,000 for that. I want something good. Yeah, so this surgery is saying
my beef is, like, you can't just do the legs. Like, you got to do the arms too, especially if you're trying to hoop, because then you're gonna be like,
you got to do the meat too,
where you like a T-Rex. You got these long legs, but your arms still short. So I feel like it's got to be a package deal. You got to do the legs and the arms
and the package right. You got to do the total package.
To be real, when I saw.
What if that's where he took the 2 inches from?
I was like, oh, what kind of nasty story Box Wine Poppy got for us now?
If you took an inch from your legs and put it on,
maybe that's where you got the inches from.
Hey, but look, when I was like in 9th grade, I was like, you know how like I don't know, picture day, they used to line you up like, and you'd be like from tallest to shortest, whatever like that, because they do the group picture. Y'all remember that kind of like stuff like that? I wasn't like the shortest kid, but I was like close to the end, man. But like between like 8th and 9th grade, I probably shot up like I probably hadn't grown like but like an inch since then. So like in a year, like I went from like being one of the shortest, not to being above or whatever. Thank God for that, man. But it was looking dicey for a little while. I was like, oh man.
I feel like
how tall was my dad? I was like, Mama, how tall was my dad? How tall was he?
I feel like
it worked out.
I don't know when I got tall. I feel like in high school I was always short. I feel like Phenom was always tall. He was tall from freshman year, and then all of a sudden, like junior year, I was taller than most everybody.
This Phenom had a full beard in 3rd grade. What are you talking about, man? Just beating up folks.
So I don't know what happened with mine, but yeah. It pulled from somewhere in my genes.
Yeah, thank God I wasn't super short. But man, I feel bad for a little, the short gang, man. But 2 inches, man. Nah, be comfortable in your own skin, man. Not for that, man. That dude's gonna have a lifetime of knee problems and joint pains, and when it rains, like the dude gonna be aching all day long, man. So that's crazy.
Have y'all ever helped a short man get something off a top shelf, like just out of spite? Because he'll never ask.
Yeah,
just grab it anyway and they look at his face. Yo, they be pissed. They be about to fight you when you do that.
I never, no, I only when asked, but like, man, a lot of times I'm like in the grocery store. Like, actually, a couple of days ago, I was in there, like, and there was like some Lysol bottles, and I was just in, and it was like a black lady, but she, she's like, can you get that for me? I was like, oh, sure. But one time there was like a couple, it was like older Asian couple, and they asked me if I could, I don't mind that, but I was looking at dude like, yeah, you see me? You see this height? Yeah.
You look him up and down.
6'1".
Here you go, little guy. Here you go.
Right. Funny.
What if somebody called you little guy? Like what if you were in the store and even, I mean, for us, we all, like you said, 6'1", 6'2", 6'3"-ish. But if there was something at a high shelf, if we had Sam's or Costco and a 6'7" for real dude just came and grabbed it and was like, oh, here you go, little man. Like, what would you do?
First of all, look, man. If it's up there that high, I'm still gonna jump. I'm gonna take this like 2-inch vertical, and I'm gonna jump up there, man. I'm gonna look stupid, but I'm gonna do it. At least
just knock it off the shelf and then catch it.
Right? It's just like.
Would you smack it out the dude's hands if he grabbed it for you and tried to hand it to you?
Dude, I would have boxed him out so quick he wouldn't have got a chance to get it, man. I would have just boxed him out, and he'd be like, "Nah, man, I'm good."
It is crazy though when you're up against, like when you're around like other people that are really tall, like you think you tall, like your regular work or like that, but then you meet some people like that are super tall, and you're like, man, like I feel like they make you feel.
It makes
little.
me uncomfortable, man. When I'm around people
that's
that
a weird feeling.
Me. It's strange because it doesn't happen very often. So when I am, I'm just like, man, it's weird.
When I go to like when I had a job, like just whatever for reason, the dudes I was working with for a while, like man, they were all older dudes and they were big too, but they were all like 6'3", 6'4", and then like when I travel internationally. Like, man, if you go to, like, Sweden or, like, Germany, like, a lot of those dudes are real tall, man. Like, and you like, oh, man, I didn't, you feel like, okay, this is what, like, a Chinese person feels like, walking around in America or something like that, It's the same thing, man. But, like, Norway, them dudes are real tall for whatever reason. So, it's kind of crazy.
For the longest and now, I don't even know if there's any people, like, taller than me, at least not, significantly, like some dudes I hoop with may be an inch taller than me or something like that I used to hoop with pre-COVID. But back in the day, it was like if I saw somebody taller than me, I immediately was like, ooh, I bet I could dunk on him. Like that was my first thought. Like, ooh, I just gotta dunk on this dude. Ooh, if we was on the court, like that was always my thought when I saw a tall dude. We could be in the middle of Target. And I'm just like, oh, yeah, I could dunk on that dude.
I hated it, man, because it really just upped your game by like 150%. Like, you could be a straight-up scrub, and then just because you that tall, all of a sudden I can't do nothing with you. Like, when came up to the gym, I'm like, yo, why I can't get a shot off, man? This dude is not good, but I can't do nothing. So, nah, right. I don't like it.
Can't teach
that's why Sean Bradley got drafted, even though you just looked at his body and you were like, this dude is trash.
Off, man.
Can't do it, man. Yeah.
All right. So that's it this week. We gave y'all all the financials. We looking at each other for the first time on video. Everybody flexing their beard, but that's all right. I got a little scruff, a little something. Y'all ain't know? No? All right, fine.
Hey, you got the fullest head of hair.
I know.
Beating Box Wine Poppy
Yeah.
by a little bit.
Hold
Y'all
on,
go
man.
ahead,
Hold
B.
on.
Look at that. It's a
I
little
got it
great.
right
It's
here.
great.
Look at
You know, and I pushed it down a little bit because I didn't want it to be, you know, that's what I'm going to do next time. I'm just going to comb my hair out. And then you can be jealous of that. So if the people would like to contact us or find out what that doctor's name is so they can lengthen their femurs, how can they contact us?
Yeah, even though I got the least amount of hair, I am the tallest on the show. Just point that out. But if you want to reach out to us, you could hit us up on Instagram or Twitter. We are at Black Delegates. There's an underscore between Black and Delegates. You can also check us out on Facebook. If you have any feedback, if you have any suggestions, any topics, if you want to see the video, if you want to see the leak, you can email us at theblackdelegespod@gmail.com. If you want to reach out to us individually, I am on Twitter and Instagram at GhettoPhenom. Ryan is on Twitter and Instagram at TheBlackRyan. And Box Wine Poppy is on Twitter at Box Wine Poppy. Speaking of, if people want to help out the show, if they want to help us grow, if they want to uncover the video one day, what can they do?
If you want to, first of all, look, go into your Robinhood account, send me all the Bitcoins, send me all the in the money GameStop options, American Airlines, what else the other one?
AMC.
Oh, AMC.
Yeah, AMC.
Yeah, send me all those. Just send us. So support us that way. Give us free money. And then, rate us and review us, subscribe, tell a friend, all that good stuff, man. Ryan, what do you got? Any closing words with us, with your struggle beard?
My closing words is Ishmael's not about height. It's about girth. See y'all next week.
That's the greatest.
Takes up about 3 yards.